What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of y'all who will, you know I appreciate it. Also, go over and check out my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speak TV. Now, let me get into this story. This is coming out of Maryland, and it's of this priest right here, Reverend Michael Breesley, who angrily threw mourners out of his church before the start of a funeral last week when someone accidentally knocked over a chalice, which is a sacred cup, and reportedly broke it. Now, at the beginning of Agnes Hicks, that's the lady who passed away, that's the funeral everyone was at the beginning of her funeral, her daughter was greeting the people who were coming in. And while she was greeting people who was coming to the funeral, someone accidentally knocked over the chalice. Now, one of the workers at the church saw that the chalice was knocked over and it was broken. So she went back and she told Reverend Michael Breesley, who came out and started yelling at the family. He got the mic, got up in the pulpit and stated, "There will be no funeral, there will be no mass, there will be no repast. Get the hell out of my church." And Michael Breesley continued to yell at the family while he was pointing at Agnes Hicks' body laying in front of the pulpit, and he stated to the family, "Get this thing out of here. Get this thing out of here. Get the hell out of my church." Now, I'm gonna let y'all watch this video, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
At Agnes Hicks's obituary, this was for her viewing and funeral that was held here inside this church Tuesday morning. Hundreds of people showed up to pay their respects, but it all ended abruptly when someone knocked over and damaged the church's sacred cup, also known as a chalice. A cell phone records a chaotic scene from the church pews as an argument between the pastor and family laying their loved one to rest escalates, while the body of 54-year-old Agnes Hicks lays in her casket right nearby. A short time later, the family is seen carrying out her casket to leave, with shocked attendees and police cars in the parking lot.
This was uncalled for at that church, and it really hurt me, really do. To see your loved one come there to rest and be shut down like that.
Hicks's family is still traumatized over what happened. They say Agnes Hicks was baptized as a young girl at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Charlotte Hall, and it's where she had always wanted her funeral. But things got ugly at her viewing with Pastor Michael Breesley. This is a photo of him from the church's website, when family says someone went in for a hug and accidentally knocked over the church's sacred chalice near the altar.
That's when all hell broke loose. He literally got on the mic and said there will be no funeral, there will be no mass, no repast. Everyone get the hell out of my church. He was disrespectful. He disrespected our family. He disrespected my mother. He called my mother a thing. He said, "Get this thing out of my church. Everyone get the hell out of my church." It was very sad. It was very sad. And I never seen anything like that before.
Family says the pastor then called police.
Bad enough we had to bury our own mother yesterday. But for you to say she's a thing and it will be no funeral, you're not a preacher. You're not a pastor. You're not a father of the Lord. You're not none of that.
Acting like that,
you're the devil.
When officers arrived, they determined the family was not in the wrong and escorted them to a funeral home out of the county, where another pastor performed their funeral service. Meanwhile, the Archdiocese of Washington has issued an apology to the family that reads in part, quote, "What occurred at St. Mary's Parish does not reflect the Catholic Church's fundamental calling to respect, nor does that incident represent the pastoral approach the priests of the Archdiocese of Washington commit to undertake every day in their ministry."
My mom was supposed to have a great funeral, and all this came up, and now I'm so traumatized about it. I'm gonna keep thinking about this every day. Like, I can't never forget this day.
The Archdiocese adds that they are taking this matter very seriously and it is still under review. Father Breesley is also expected to make a formal apology to the family.
All right, fam, let's go in. Now, first of all, let me say this. That was just completely disrespectful what Pastor Michael Breesley said to the family members there. And for anyone who has planned a funeral, I've been there, I've helped plan a funeral before, you know you don't get a do-over. This is this person's last farewell, their last send-off, basically the celebration of this person's life. And you're going to remember that day forever. And the people who come to the funeral, the mourners there, are going to remember it as well. And for her son to say that he is traumatized, Agnes Hicks' son to say, you traumatized me. That family, those mourners, they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives. But I also want to say kudos to the police and also to the pastor in the other town who allowed them to come to his church last minute to have Agnes Hicks's, funeral service. And the police, when they showed up to the church, they decided that, the family was not in the wrong, and they escorted them to the other church in another town. So kudos to the police for doing that. Let me say this. Now, Pastor Reverend Michael Beasley did come out and apologize in almost a 2-page letter he put into the Enterprise newspaper in their town. Let me say this. He went on in the letter to say that don't judge him by 2 minutes of anger, and what, he experienced at that moment was anger and rage, and it shouldn't have been taken out on the family, but it was. And in your apology, it seems like you're just trying to save your butt. And he went on to say how he was there and he consoled the family, days before the funeral, and he wanted to be there to help them, but he just got caught up in rage when he saw that the sacred chalice was broken on the floor. Now, what I want to say to you, Pastor Michael Beasley, and also to the people who are over you in your jurisdiction, because, the higher ups in the Catholic Church have spoke on this, and they've written stuff in the newspaper saying that, his actions can't be, you can't blast the entire Catholic Church by it, and I won't. But I will say this, and I'm just probably being, I don't know, I'm just going to get it off my chest. I wish the same anger that Pastor Michael Beasley had and the Catholic Church in his jurisdiction have, I wish y'all had that same anger about those boys who were molested in the church. Yeah, I said it, I meant it, and I'm here to represent it. Unsubscribe if you don't like it. I wish that same anger was there for those young kids who were molested in the Catholic Church. Now, let me say this. Now, I have been saying this for a long time. There are a lot of churches, not only Catholic churches, but other churches too. To me, it seems like they care more about the building than they do about the people and the instruments and the chairs. I've been in churches all my life. Oh, well, don't touch out, sit, don't scuff up this, don't do that. No, and they're so protective of the building. I understand that. But if it wasn't for the people, there would be no building. There would be no the things that you have in the church, the chalice and all this kind of stuff. And for you to say that the chalice is more important than a human being, it is just deplorable. Now, when he told the family members, Reverend Michael Beasley, when he told them to get the hell out of the church, and then he pointed at their mother who was laying in front of the church, the casket was open, and he said, "Get this thing out of here." I am telling y'all right now, I don't think there would ever be another Dawson and Denise YouTube show unless Denise come and take this show over. That probably would have been my last day as a free citizen. I'm sorry. I don't think that I would have made it through. I wouldn't have made it to the next town to go to the funeral of my loved one if he said that, because I would have just lost it. Not only am I grieving and I'm in pain, you're going to point at my loved one and say, "Get this thing out of here." No, the thing that they would have been getting out of there is you on a stretcher. Now, I'm going to let that go because I see myself getting a little angry on this right now. I want to know what y'all would have done if this had happened to you. That's what I want to know. Go off in the comments. Let your boy know what you would have done. It's your boy Dawson. Y'all take care of yourself and each other. Again, I am sorry that this happened to the Hicks family. May Agnes Hicks rest in peace to her children. I just hope y'all get the counseling y'all need. And, to the family, my prayers are with you. Y'all let me know what y'all think on this. It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself and each other. Peace. And look here, y'all. I just thought about something. I was being too nice on this video, and I'm just sitting here thinking, and I want y'all to think too, and I really want y'all to leave some truthful answers. If this was your loved one, your relative who is laying in the front of the church, and the priest says, "Get this thing out of here," I really want y'all to really picture your loved one or whoever laying there and give me your honest opinion, because this is my thing. And I was trying to be all politically correct and everything, but forget pimps in the pulpit. It would have been titled Priest Got Knocked Out in the Pulpit. I would have just lost it. There is no way. I mean, there's no way I could have contained myself. If you looked at my mom, my grandma, my brother, or my sisters and said, get this thing out of here. And they're so worried. Oh, the sacred chalice, the sacred chalice. He was so worried about the sacred chalice, but the damn church didn't y'all didn't care about the child molesters y'all had there. Forget the chalice. What about the child molesters y'all have prevailing in their Catholic church and many of these other churches? Y'all don't worry about the child molesters, but you're so protective of the sacred chalice. No, protect the damn children, man. Now, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this. It's your guy, Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other. Peace.